That was one turn, like one combo.
Really cool idea for a matchup.
Cool, I get it.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hi, I'm Darkly, and I was one of the lucky Death Battle fans that got a chance to pitch their matchup idea to the Death Battle team. For those curious about why this video isn't presented like a VOD, let me tell you about how I messed up my recording. Prior to this meeting, I had never used OBS before. It was ambitious to make this my first time, and I found that out the hard way because my mic settings got messed up partway through the meeting. So you will get some of that original footage first, but later on I will replace that audio myself. Basically, a good chunk of this video is a better version of what I presented to Ben and Chad, whose audio recordings are fine by the way, so you get to hear their genuine reactions and engagement to my matchup pitch. Now without further ado, this is my Death Battle pitch meeting with Ben and Chad.
What up, Ben?
There we go. Hello. How's it going?
It's going.
All right.
Definitely got a lot of feelings, but I'm here to have fun, so.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Well, yeah, the whole idea behind this call is the floor is yours. However you want to talk about your matchup idea, go for it. There's no pressure or expectation or anything like that. We're just excited to hear about your matchup idea and why you like it.
Yeah, I'll definitely try my best to
Yep,
convey
we've had
all the
everything.
ideas, so. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've had everything. People just been like, I don't know, I didn't really have much. I just thought it'd be cool. All the way to presentations and stuff. So there's no right or wrong way.
Okay. Well, I am one of those people that does have a presentation, so.
Cool. Let's check it out. Way.
Okay, perfect. So just a quick disclaimer that this pitch is being recorded. I only just learned OBS just for this occasion, so I'll do my best. So anyways, let's get to it. So I want to begin this presentation with one of Death Battle's probably most iconic lines, or part of those lines: weapons, armors, and skills. I really want to hone in on that first word, weapons. And when it comes to these two combatants for this matchup, there is no shortage to the amount of weapons that they have and their capabilities. So let me begin by introducing the first combatant, which is Mr. Noctis Lucius Kylum, Final Fantasy XV's Crown Prince of Lucius, the King of Light. It's Final Fantasy. He's one of those famous, RPG protagonists, RPG heroes, famous anime swordsman.
You too, Chad?
Yeah. So real quick, so you are breaking up real
Dang
bad.
It.
We're getting.
I heard that. So I can also try to just switch to
maybe try reconnecting to the call.
You can maybe try turning off your camera too.
Yeah, it might just be too much going through with because you were fine before you started sharing the screen.
What about now?
Oh, did it? Oh,
yeah,
I missed that.
I unplugged and unplugged my mic.
Shot, yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna roll with this.
Okay. Well, might as well keep going and see how it goes.
So yeah, Noctis, known for being Arnazunia, member of the Lucius bloodline, proving a Star Scourge. He's met Negan from The Walking Dead thanks to Tekken 7, and he's bested a number of astrals or primal entities, such as the infamous Bahamut, known for the various flares skills, especially Terra Flare, which is capable of causing massive planetary
destruction.
stuff.
Still breaking up a lot. It's definitely an internet thing. Not a big thing.
So then I had to rejoin my call. My mic settings got messed up, and my audio was lost from that point forward. With only a small portion of the original recording being usable, that might have been the giving up point. However, this is my most wanted matchup. I never thought about not doing this. I'm committed. So let's run it back. Noctis Lucius Kylum, Final Fantasy XV's Crown Prince of Lucius. The rival king that put an end to the Star Scourge, hero that challenged the treacherous Arnazunia, and warrior that contends with primal entities like Bahamut, who can wield the infamous Terra Flare skill that could devastate his world of Eos. But more importantly, he's a royal for picky eaters everywhere. His opponent, Ludger Will Kresnik, Tales of Xillia's quite literal blue-collar worker turned MVP corporate agent, an equal to heroes of Man and Spirit kind, breaker of fractured dimensions, and worthy adversary of the great spirits such as Cronus, a higher spiritual being that can destroy different timelines with ease. He was capable of accomplishing all these feats to pay off his debt of 20 million. Yep, you heard me right. All of those zeros are legit.
Dang.
While many fictional heroes are more outspoken, the timeless saying tells us that actions speak louder than words.
Okay. By the way, connection seems great now. So whatever you're doing right now, it's working good.
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Actions take shape through the choices the individual makes. And when it comes to these silent heroes' fighting styles, they have a lot of available options to choose from. Both characters fight using multiple weapons of different types in their respective arsenals. However, their connections extend beyond their specific combat qualities, as they both possess special powers unique to their bloodlines, which are key to passing the trials set by primal entities meant to test the worth of humanity's existence.
Cool, I get it.
There's also a lot of connections that can be drawn between the respective stories, except it would take too long to explain and would lose some people. Plus, I only had so much time with Ben and Chad. Beyond Noctis and Ludger's key character connections, a death battle episode between them would offer so much from having this episode happen. For starters, it expands Death Battle's character roster from the Final Fantasy franchise. The show already has some spectacular fights with these characters, except they all have one thing in common: the number 7. While Final Fantasy VII is the most notorious entry from this iconic gaming series, as of this pitch, there are 16 mainline entries, all with a widespread selection of characters to choose from. Final Fantasy is the RPG franchise. Square Enix is going to pump out these games till they're 90.
Yep.
Let's get the spotlight to some other titles. Final Fantasy XV released while Death Battle episodes were airing, so eyes were sure to be on Noctis within this overlapping time period. Furthermore, with Wiz always saying that it's their job to analyze their weapons, armors, and skills, Noctis surely delivers in the weapons category. A Noctis vs. Ludger episode also offers Death Battle the benefit of introducing a new iconic video game franchise to the show's audience. I do recall Ben saying on a Death Battle cast that among a list of statistics, the audience requests to see more video game and sword fights. Noctis vs. Ludger checks off both of those requested categories. Additionally, their different fighting styles can highlight unique styles of sword techniques. Then, when it comes to fulfilling the wants of a video game episode, it adds a JRPG-themed or RPG-centered episode to the show's library. Potentially having Wiz and Boomstick explore the role of the role-playing game genre in gaming could be a fun thing to hear, especially when exploring an episode that introduces another long-standing video game franchise with a diverse range of characters to engage with. That is the Tales series. And what better franchise to pit them up against for their Death Battle debut than the RPG franchise that everybody knows? Having the Tales series in Death Battle would also open the window for exchanges between other video game franchises like Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, or perhaps even pave the way for a certain scary claw lady that was on the
Welcome to the Tournament of Champions!
Including Tales in Death Battle's arsenal could help bring incredible possibilities for future episodes of the show as well. Speaking of possibilities, let's talk about the biggest selling point of this matchup.
Gotcha.
And probably the whole reason behind this pitch, the fight dynamic. As stated early on, one of the biggest appeals between Noctis vs. Ludger is their use of multiple weapons in combat. Because their full arsenals are placed in consideration when determining the victor, different types of weapons will be seen throughout the fight. As the battle progresses, the weapons will be constantly changing and inviting opportunities for different types of weapon exchanges and interactions. We'd possibly witness classes of dual blades against a single blade, a hammer to a crossbow, or even pistols firing at a shield. The possibilities are endless with this matchup. In Ludger's case, I believe the Tales series provides him with something that helps close the gap between their weapon quantities. Something that makes the Tales series combat mechanics so unique. Yeah?
This gif of them side by side shooting each other's bullets is already like, okay, this will be an absolute blast.
Yeah, that's one of the more epic moments in Ludger's game. It's kind of spoiler territory, so I won't get too much into it. Something that makes the Tales series combat mechanics so unique are the characters' arts. Arts are uniquely named attacks and spells that can practice unique combat techniques, can boost character stats, and even incorporate elemental forces in their attacks. Due to these combat functions unique to the Tales series, Ludger's arts would implement a unique layer of technique to this death battle. And then I proceeded to show Ben and Chad a 2-minute video that showcased all of Ludger's arts by Omega Evolution. I recommend you check it out to see how fun combat in a Tales game can be. In the meantime, there are some highlights taken from when they were watching the video.
to them. That was one turn, like one combo.
That's the power of editing. But yeah, it does look really epic, huh? Something else to consider about this fight dynamic is how both characters will push each other to go beyond their limits with the gradual progression of the fight. Coincidentally, both Final Fantasy and the Tale series implement mechanics where their characters can exceed those limitations to attain new thresholds of power. For Noctis, his limit breaks to harness the power of kings, to wield the royal arms and unleash the power of the Armiger to its full potential. Meanwhile, when Ludger goes over his limits, he can reach devastating potentials with his mystic arts. Furthermore, Ludger has the Chromatis, a unique power exclusive to the President bloodline, which allows him to utilize new deadly skills and techniques, including mystic arts. The idea of the Armiger against the Chromatis would surely elevate this fight to epic proportions. Even when Noctis has 13 weapons out all at once, Ludger's Chromatis can manifest weapons to match the odds with his mystic arts, being capable of summoning around 10 lance projectiles. Also, cool fact, Ludger's Waltz arts can manifest a pair of Chromatis blades. These comparisons between characters could also pose the question of whether it's better to be a jack of all trades or to specialize in concentrated areas. With these unique skill sets being tested against each other, the contest between Noctis and Ludger might go either way. The potential in these escalating interactions could make this fight dynamic a true spectacle for the Death Battle audience.
Yeah.
Through the epic powers of these two characters, the battle has the potential to level up to new dimensions, fitting for an epic video game episode.
For sure.
To help paint a better picture of what this fight could look like, I made some concept art of potential interactions with the fight. As you can see, there's different weapons clashing, an exchange between bullet arts and magic, as well as a climactic moment between the Armiger Unleash and the full Chromatis.
That's cool.
As for the match's animation potential, I firmly believe that Noctis vs. Ludger would shine under any animation format. The Death Battle team has extraordinary talents behind them, and it'd be an absolute honor to see this match be held by any of them. Yes, both of their games are known for being 3D, but recent episodes like Simone vs. Kyle and Shigaraki vs. Mahito attest to the amazing things the Death Battle team is capable of. If Noctis vs. Ludger were to become an episode, it offers a great outlet of creativity. The many weapons, techniques, and powers leave the potential concepts of this fight open to endless possibilities to imagine. Then, when we add in the element of amazing fight choreography, this battle is sure to have an epic fight animation. Plus, if the research team receives the time to play both of these games, they'd have a good time finding out more about Noctis and Ludger, as well as draw their own connections between their respective stories. When the team has this chance to experience the joy that both of these games bring, it adds more to the endless imagination or vision of what could be an epically animated battle.
Oh, absolutely.
Noctis vs. Ludger has incredible potential to be an amazing Death Battle episode. Through the new elements it can introduce to the show's team and audience, the possibilities behind his versatile fight dynamic, as well as potential spectacles brought from his animation. The exchange between these two characters would be a tribute to two iconic video game franchises that helped inspire the many fantastical adventures by the RPG genre. While the big appeal behind Noctis and Ludger is the use of their weapons, the options at their disposal call for them to make choices in the moment. Their respective narratives reflect the burdens of their lineage and the crucial choices they must make themselves. Both the appeal behind their potential fight and the connections between their stories are what made this my first idea for a death battle, my most wanted matchup, as well as why I chose to pitch this idea. So through these presented points covered in my presentation, and for getting Leroy said at this part, I don't know. It is my hope you choose to make Noctis vs. Ludger a death battle episode. Hopefully, what was discussed during this pitch promotes the possibility that the Tales series will be featured in Death Battle in the future. I appreciate the opportunity to promote this idea. It was a pleasure speaking to all of you.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. That's what's been great about these calls is, getting to, say hi and thanks, of course, but then also, we're really getting to know a lot more about some characters or franchises that we might think we know some things about or not at all, and then we learned a whole lot.
Xillia, we definitely heard, Tales of Symphonia, things like that.
A classic.
I had no idea who Ludger was, so this has been very interesting to learn about him and this weird tie that I just couldn't get my eyes off of in that previous clip where it's bisected. There's a clip there. Whatever.
Interesting.
Doesn't matter. Point is, really cool idea for a matchup. Makes a lot of sense. Noctis would be great in a fight as well. We got a lot of really big Final Fantasy 15 fans on the team.
Oh, that's
who would
cool.
be excited to do a Noctis fight. And yeah, really solid idea. Really cool idea. And like you said, we need to do more sword fights. So this could definitely be one of those.
Don't remember
Really
how
good
this bit
stuff.
went, but I was very eager to donate my Final Fantasy 15 novel and my Tales of
Appreciate that.
Xillia 2
Well,
copy.
you can send.
Well,
if
that's
you
when my
want.
jokes were well received. I see these as an
Oh
absolute
my god.
win. And that was basically the end of my pitch meeting with Ben and Chad. The only part that was cut out was closing my presentation with the fan-made Next Time trailer I made for this matchup, which is already available to see on my channel. Hopefully, you enjoyed what you saw, and maybe some of my discussion points opened you up to the idea of seeing Noctis versus Ludger in the future. If you still have a primary preference for either of these characters though, that's totally fine too. In fact, if you're Team Noctis versus Shiro from the Fate series, there's a pitch video out there that you can watch too. The picture for that matchup is pretty chill, and we kind of developed a bond because we were both promoting a Noctis matchup. What would make this even better if there was a surprise Noctis versus Kron picture out there for a holy trinity of Noctis opponents. Overall, this was a fun experience, and I'd totally do this again if I had the chance, just with OBS handled more correctly. And maybe promote something a little spicier. It was even more worth it to provide a spotlight to the Tales series, one of the many video game franchises that's near and dear to my heart. Even if I couldn't convey my ideas as smoothly during my actual pitch compared to this video, it's all worth it to take this chance for my most wanted matchup. So, I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. Anyways, I appreciate you all for watching, especially if you got this far. Have a good rest of your day. Smiley face.